Welcome to the Eagle's Nest podcast, everybody. If you're just joining us, we are excited to have you. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. This week we welcome on Kevin Grace, owner and manager of The Beef Restaurant and Pub. Kevin, what made you start, or what made you think that you wanted to start a restaurant?
Well, I grew up on the west side, Binghamton, and we, as far as the beef goes, we always saw it as an opportunity. We went up for sale, and in 2007, my family and I just decided to, take the leap. And I had done some, in college, I'd done finance and knew the books, not so much on the restaurant management supply, but it was a kind of learn as you go. But, we just saw it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
Yeah, it seemed to work out in your guys' favor so far.
Yeah.
Minus COVID, of course.
Well, right. That's...
So when the beef, before you had bought the beef was called What's Your Beef?
Right.
What made you change it, the name?
You know what? Everybody called it the beef.
Yeah.
'Cause again, when I was a child, my parents would go, "Oh, we're going down to the beef." I
Yeah.
remember, I never liked to go when I was 10 years old. But,
Yeah.
But it was kind of a different name. You know, just to kind of change things up. The same place, same idea, but different name. But it's funny enough, I still get mail and things that say WYB, or people still to this day, some of the older customers, you probably see it too.
Yeah.
Say, hey, are you going to What's Your Beef, or how's What's Your Beef going? So really just to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep it same idea, just different name.
So obviously you didn't always want to do a restaurant or be a restaurant owner. What was your original plan as a kid?
Originally I was going to be a writer. I wanted to be a journalist. So yeah, I was. I like to write. I like to read. But that was my idea. In college, I started finance. I started a finance major, and then I went into hospitality and tourism management just as we went. But I always wanted to write. I always wanted to be a sports editor, sports writer, kind of follow around the country in the papers. And I'm glad I didn't, because there's no newspaper writers now.
Mm-hmm.
But 25 years ago, that was
that was the big thing.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I always want to do. But here we are in the restaurant business.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it seemed to work out. So
yeah.
A big question I have for you: what are the challenges, especially now with COVID, and how is it different now compared to before? Like with the challenges you face, like maybe getting supplies, bringing customers.
They're endless. I mean, now it's so different. As you know, it's just getting the food products is hard enough. The prices fluctuate so much now because when in the slaughterhouses and the meat packing, when all the people tested positive for COVID years or months ago, the prices started to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And they're so fluctuating now around the holidays. But it's the 50%. It's the new rules. There's so unknown rules that we don't know.
Yeah.
This time last year, on a night like this, would be your father, working tonight. It would be a crazy night, fun night.
Yeah.
Now, we're lucky if we get, we have only 50%, and even people are still nervous to come out. And it's the unknown, which is the hardest thing right now. To do we order a lot of food? Are we going to be shut down next week?
Yeah.
And what's the worst part is for you guys,
Yeah.
the servers and the people that are working. I mean, we still do a decent amount of business, the bar business, and takeout, but the late night bartenders, the servers, they're the ones getting killed really bad in this. But, so for us, you just you have to. So much sanitization, so much, just adhering to the rules because they're out to get you if you don't,
They are.
Yeah.
The crazy fines, $10,000 fines here and there. It's ridiculous.
And now, because, the state is hurting for money, they're looking to raise money now. So they're looking to go out and get fines and get you, get $1,500 here because they're broke, and they need money. And they like to pick on the restaurant industry, that's for sure, as you know.
Yes, that's for sure. Oh, so I saw on Facebook the other day, you had made a post, I can't remember exactly what it was about, but it was something about Governor Cuomo saying that we weren't spreading through the restaurants, and it was actually through home spreading. Have you heard anything else? Is that going to affect us? Are we going to be able to bring more people into the restaurant?
You know what? That's the problem. That's the whole unknown question. And the thing is, he came out with the numbers on Monday, and he said 1.46% of cases now through contact tracing are through the restaurants. That's less than 2%, while over 70% are now from home gatherings, which is naturally. If you can't go to a bar, you can't go to. What are you going to do? You're going to go home and drink with your friends or eat with your friends.
And you're way more relaxed at home as well.
Right, exactly. There's less rules, so it's no surprise. You can't have it both ways. It's a double-edged sword, So, but I don't know. So are they going to, less than 2%? Are we going to get shut down? I think it's all dependent on the hospitals,
Yeah.
But who knows what our king in Albany will decide on a day-to-day basis. He had a press conference today and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait and see. But it's the numbers at 1.46%. To me, that's pretty low.
That is pretty low.
That's we're not a major cause of transfer. So, open. There's three things that I think you as far as this COVID goes: wear a mask, social distance, and be smart.
Yeah.
And if you do that, then everything else is should be okay. But as long as you do those things and you're smart, but all these rules and restrictions are just not going to work. I mean, it just makes things more difficult for everybody. So.
And from what a lot of people are saying too, these rules and restrictions are very communist-like, telling us where we can and can't go, what we can and can't do, who we can and can't see.
Certainly,
it's crazy that we're just kind of accepting these at this point.
Right, and the problem is, as we accept them, they become normal. And then, your father and I were talking, and how Pennsylvania was shut down altogether. In New York, we still have till 10 o'clock. And we were talking about how, we feel so lucky that we're open till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be happy that we're only open till 10 o'clock. We should be open as much as we can. But the way the things go like that, when we're not Pennsylvania, so we feel okay. That's the problem. That's the new norm. I hate that term, the new norm. But that's what people start to, get in their mind, and we can't get that way. And like you said, it's, I'm not sure it's. It's getting worse, as far as the rules, we just kind of bend to them. But, hopefully people will eventually not stand up, but they'll do the right thing. And I hate to say fight back, but they'll educate themselves on it a little bit,
Yeah.
So.
Well, I actually, last night I saw a video of a bar owner, like, going crazy against the health department. Like, I'm following all the rules, this and that. Do you think that if more restaurant owners stood up to that it would make a difference?
See, the problem is, yes, I think it would. But the problem is, it's hard because the liquor license, the Cuomo in Albany has a power over bars and restaurants. He can't enforce it in retail stores. He can't, but the liquor authority, SLA, that's his. It's his armed force to really be able to put pressure on restaurants and bars. And yes, it would be great if everybody got together, but it's too hard. Not everybody are going to do that. And then when, a lot of bars have tried it in New York City, and they had quite of them got sued the state and, to freedom. And what did he do? The SLA was then sent to those bars and yanked their liquor license. Yeah. So it's tough. It's the only way he can enforce it through that is the SLA. So yes, would it be great if everybody got together and did it? But that's a hard thing to do because, we lose our liquor license.
Yeah, it's over.
What are people? I mean, people are going to come in food, but that's, people want to have a drink.
Exactly.
So it's a slippery slope.
It is, and it's sad that we're put in these situations.
Yeah, right, and it's it's not right, quite frankly. I mean, we were talking about on Black Friday. That was when they put in the restrictions. It was right around that for 10 o'clock, but nothing to rush into the stores to go get your wait in line at PS5 or going to the retail stores where people were hoarding, and not as bad as it usually is, but still, I mean, but again, he can't enforce it. There's no way to really enforce it with them, but he can use it against us. So we're kind of the poster child for, enforcing COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
We kind of have to bend over and take it.
Unfortunately. So, I mean, the way that things are going right now, it's not looking good for in-house dining. We're seeing a rise in DoorDash, Uber Eats, Bing Bite, our own personal delivery thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that at some point in the future there's not going to be in-house dining anymore? I know I've seen in like gas stations, for example, they're almost completely doing away with cashiers. They have these new checkout systems where each item has a special RFID on it, or RIFD, RFID. I can't remember the special thing. But what you go in with a bag, and you put all your stuff in the bag, and you just set the thing on the thing, and it scans them all because it scans those numbers.
Yeah.
And then you just swipe your card and you leave. It cuts down the checkout time and,
Sure.
5 minutes.
Your labor costs, you don't.
Labor costs. You don't have to do that anymore. Do you think we'll get to that point?
I think yes, I think it's going to get more and more towards certainly like self checkout lines at the grocery stores and things of that nature. I think there always will be a place as far as the restaurant and bar industry for people to be social.
And that's what bars are for,
right.
really.
What do you go to a bar for? You don't go to a bar to sit in a corner and drink by yourself like some weirdo. You go to a bar to talk to your friends and see,
exactly.
the bartender.
Yeah.
So there always will be a place for that. But as far as indoor dining, I think it's going to be a while before people really get comfortable again. You know, obviously the vaccine will help. But, a lot of people are skeptical about the vaccine, myself included. I'm not going to be first in line to jump in to get it.
Yeah, I mean, we've never had a vaccine come out in a year when we have a virus that we know nothing about.
Right, absolutely.
Like, we're still studying AIDS, and we're still studying cancer and all these other things.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's a different kind of sickness, I guess, but either way, I mean, if we can do this in 1 year, why couldn't we do this with 100 other things in a year?
And I mean, like, for me personally, I will get the vaccine. I think it's important because of being in the restaurant business. It's just to ease of mind. But I'm not gonna jump ahead to get it to be aggressive. But
I personally want to see what happens before I go and I don't want to get it.
You
know,
want your eyes turned color.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. But so I think with that indoor dining, I think will be, it'll come back, but that's going to take a longer time.
Yeah,
I think the bar business, so to speak, people want to socialize.
Yeah.
But again, it's just going to take
time. And I just
time.
don't think you can get rid of the bar business.
No.
They've tried. Prohibition. Yeah. They tried.
Never going to, hey, man, we're going to drink.
Yeah. People want to drink. They've been drinking for thousands of years. They're going to drink.
There's no shortage of them in Binghamton, that's for sure.
That's for sure. So, customer relations. How do you keep good customer relations? How important is it to stay out of politics? What do you like to talk about to really, get to know somebody and get them to come back?
Well, I think as far as politics, the age-old rules of the bar, politics and religion are just a no-no.
Yeah. Because
we've seen it happen too often where people get heated and argue and, occasionally physically, not at the beef so much, but other places.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. I think as far as a restaurant owner, as a bartender, a server, I think when you're in the restaurant dealing with customers, you have to be neutral as far as politics.
Yes.
You can have your opinions, certainly, but you got to kind of hold back. As soon as you walk out, you can preach whatever you want. That's one thing as far as politics go. Religion, I don't think, I think we're at the point where religion is,
religion. I don't think people really care about religion anymore.
Everybody accepts what you believe is what you believe, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But there used to be arguments about Jesus Christ, and and
well, it's kind of crazy too how it's changed. Like now, I feel like we're in a really racially hostile climate right now.
Oh God.
And political hostile climate, but when it comes to religion, I think people have kind of stepped away from that, and now it's more in we're talking more about transgender rights and black rights and all these other kinds of things that are away from that.
Right.
I think people are starting to realize that religion, it doesn't really matter that much. It's your personal belief, and you're not hurting anybody. Why do anything about it?
I don't think anybody's gonna. Everybody's entitled to their religion, and I think people are more accepting now than ever. But you're right. The racial issues, the divide as far as politics have ramped up, and it's kind of taken the religion down.
Yeah.
But as far as customer relations go, I think you just have to, you've got to, when we're working, we are, the age-olds having the customer's always right. Now that's not always true, as well as I do, but you kind of have to act like it, and you kind of just have to deal with it. And as far as getting to know people, you just get to know you. If you're a personable person like you are, your customers, your father certainly, has been working in the bar business forever.
I know. And somebody will walk in and be like, "Yep, you want that today, right?" And
and he knows everybody. And everybody knows Dave, and everybody likes him. And I think that's just the way you do it. You listen. I mean, half the time, there's certain bartenders, as we know, some of them just like to talk about themselves, and some that like to listen, or servers and what it may be, the employees. But that's the people that listen, because they're coming there to have a good time.
Yeah.
You let them have a good time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they piss you off, and you don't want them to. You want them to get the hell out. But for the most part, 99% of the time, people are just looking to enjoy themselves. And if you allow them to do that, give them a little laugh, then I think that keeps them coming back.
I agree, and we've definitely have a lot of people that keep coming back.
That's the truth.
We have a very good group of people that come into the beef.
Yeah, for sure.
So, what do you do for advertising, especially now? It's very hard to get people in now.
We do things. We do a lot of radio. Well, not a lot of radio, but we do a specific radio station. We do Cool 106.7, which is kind of a neutral, office station where people hear it in the office. Not so much now, but we do occasionally. We do. Promotions through like the Clipper magazine, the Local Favor, or the 50/50 half off deals, but really not too much. I don't do it, especially now, because even if you do all those things, you can't have everybody come in to eat.
Yeah.
So what's the use? I mean, it's wrong time to do it now, as far as I'm concerned. But I always think radio is the most effective to me personally. I think TV plays its role, on news and advertisements. But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. When I'm watching a football game, when the commercial goes on, that's when I go,
go check something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing I want to do is watch commercials.
Yeah.
But radio, you're kind of forced to.
Exactly.
So I personally think radio is more effective. But social media now, the Facebook, that's the freest form of marketing you can do right now. I mean, websites are still viable, but they're not,
You really have to have a following to have a website.
Right. Facebook or Instagram, where you can take pictures of the food and put it right on, or you can update your, instantly by minute what your specials are.
Yeah.
It's just much more effective. So for me personally, for the restaurant, I like social media and the radio. But some people love TV, and I think it depends on what your business is, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a furniture company, you want to show pictures of, people want to visualize that, and us to some extent with the food, but more on a,
And I feel like having it on the radio too. Like if you're driving in the car and you hear that come on and you're hungry, we should try that. That's. I feel like that scenario might happen a lot.
Yeah, everybody knows that. You've heard the commercials that you've heard a million times on the radio, and they're stuck in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the idea, if you can get to that point. But the problem is marketing. It's not inexpensive. Mm-hmm. Advertising, certainly in the radio, in certain TV, it's not cheap, and that's what's so nice about social media.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's free. So.
You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you could, you can boost things of that nature, but. And you get your followers, and the more people you can get to, it's like the podcast. The more people you can get to watch it, the better.
Yeah, yeah. Word of mouth is a great way.
Yeah.
To get the word out there.
Sure.
Yeah. So we talked about the COVID restrictions. How do you think they're flawed, and what do you think that could happen to fix them? Because like we talked about earlier, they're the very low percentage of people getting infected at restaurants.
Right.
What do you think we could do differently?
I think the number one thing is, for me personally, is if you're doing the right things, if you're as a business, in any business, but for specifically, we're in the restaurant business. If you're social distancing, you're being smart about it. For me, it's I guess I don't understand. So like at 10 p.m. we have to close down. If you're doing it right, what does it matter if it's 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 1 a.m.?
Yeah.
If you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, and I understand a lot of places aren't.
Yeah.
A lot of places are pushing the limits, and but you're punishing on a whole industry, and for some people that are doing it wrong, and more of the late night, I'm sure college kids, that's what you go out at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I can understand that. You control that a little bit, but my first thing would be is not to condemn the whole industry for some people doing things wrong. If you're doing it right, time means nothing to me as far as what does it matter if it's midnight, as long as you're doing what is proper and correct, and enforcing the rules inside your establishment. I like some of the ideas that Cuomo's come up. I think are smart. I think you got to be. People have to be aware. You have to be conscious that this is going around, whether you believe it's true or not. I'm not. We're not smart enough to figure that out. But that's somebody else, a scientist or somebody else. But I think if we're doing it right and you're enforcing the rules, and most of them are okay. I agree. I think some of them are foolish, like the food rule.
Yeah,
like you have to be off of food. I mean, I understand the concept of what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, it's trying you eat and you're not going to be lingering around. You're going to be, but come on. I mean, that's and so many people are getting around it or doing things. I mean, we offer food, obviously, hot dogs and, cheese and crackers and obviously our kitchen's open. Mm-hmm. But that's a foolish rule to me.
It is. I agree.
That's a foolish one. But, I don't even have a big problem with the curfew to some extent. But I think it should be later, and I think it should be contingent on what kind of business you are. For us, it's not that big of a deal, but for a place like the Union, it's terrible that at 10 o'clock they have to shut down when a lot of their business is, contingent on late night business or Able's. I mean, they're a place that depends upon that places coming from other bars, other restaurants, and. As long as they're doing it right, I mean that's part of the deal. But I just think it should be, as far as correct. I like most of the ideas, but I think they could be. I don't know if delegated is the right word, but they could be enforced differently, or for each kind of situation. I don't think it has to be this broad picture,
this broad stroke.
Right?
I get you.
So I mean,
and I agree. I mean it definitely affects. Like restaurant workers, not only in the sense that, we're not having as much business or we're not getting the hours, but when we do have work and we get out, we want to go eat. We want to go to the bar or something.
Sure.
Everything's closed.
Yeah.
Everything. Like it's the people that work second shift or in third shift, they're the ones that struggle with these things.
Yeah, there was a bar up in, I think it's on Conklin Avenue. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's it really catered to all the Frito-Lay, the second shifters at Frito-Lay, and they can't go there anymore. I mean, they have nowhere to go when they come out, and that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, so that's a perfect example. I would say that's a place that a bar, restaurant, whatever, that is contingent on that kind of business. Why should they be punished for the timing of 10 o'clock? Maybe they, again, if they're doing the rules right, that's exactly my point.
Yeah.
But I mean, the restaurant industry, the people themselves, you can only eat at your own restaurant now because you can't once you get out, everything's closed. I mean, you can go fast food, but who wants to do that every day?
Who wants to get Taco Bell and McDonald's every night?
Well, sometimes.
Taco Bell is pretty good. I won't lie.
It is, but and that's unfortunate because, and we're really, again, the people that are losing with all these restrictions are the employees. Mm-hmm. Because not only they're not making the same money, they don't have the same opportunity. Their whole lifestyle has changed. Their whole sleeping habits have changed. And I don't know. I think that's unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. It could be better.
Yeah. Especially looking at the numbers, it should be different.
Right. I agree. I mean, but we are at the mercy of our governor. So
yeah. Well, moving on to a little bit lighter of a note. Football season is going very well. I mean, we're 13 games in?
Yeah.
You're obviously a Giants fan.
For now.
What do you think of the season so far?
I think not to get too serious, but I think there was no training camp this year or no preseason game. So I think a lot of teams they really didn't get into normal play until about week 5, week 6. Now your Steelers but they're starting to,
they're starting to hit the down.
All the other teams have now caught up a little bit, I think. But I look. The bottom line is, if the Giants are good, or the Giants are contending, I'm much more into football.
Yeah.
I still am not a big, I'm not a huge fan of the sport and all the political baloney that goes along with it. But I'll watch the Giants, and when they're good, I'm much more invested. But they had a tough loss last week, so But I don't know.
What do you think of their new quarterback?
Daniel, I just was driving here on the radio. Now he's got a sprained ankle. I think he's got a hamstring and an ankle issue. I don't know. I mean, I think he had 4 games to really prove himself. This is almost a second full year. So there's not that. I mean, at some point, you know what you have.
Yeah.
He had 4 games to really kind of see what he could do. He's 0 for 1 in the first 4 games. Mm-hmm. Last week, before they played the Cardinals, they were in first place in the division. They controlled their destiny. Mm-hmm. Well, they laid an egg.
Yeah.
I mean, they played But so I'm not. I don't know. The jury's still out. He needs to prove himself. Certainly in the next 3 games. The beginning of next year, he's got to show us something. I mean, because they're gonna have a lot of free agent money as far as the Giants go.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a lot of talent, and if he doesn't do it by half the season of next year, and it's time to go. I mean,
You think it was good for Eli to retire when he did, or do you think he should have stayed at least another year?
he should have. He probably should have left a year before.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, well, and that's what the Giants did. See, the Giants picked Saquon Barkley second. They did these things. They signed the big Nate Solder. He's a left tackle they got from the Patriots because they tried to push Eli one more year. Well, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And so now you've taken your step. You've taken that franchise, the whole organization. You've taken them a couple of years back. Now they're starting to build back, but he probably should have played. He shouldn't have played a couple of years.
Yeah.
There. I mean, I love Eli. Don't get me wrong, but some people play longer than others.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. Look at Ben. I mean, the Big Ben. They're the
Well,
same.
he just said the other day, he's like, if I cannot continue to play good football, then I'm going to have to retire.
Well, right, and that's makes sense. Why would you want to, anyways?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're not winning, I mean, Steelers are winning, so it's a little different. The Giants were 2-14 for Christ's sake. Why would you want to play in it? If you're that old, you made that much money and won 2 Super Bowls. But I don't know.
Do you watch any college?
I do. It's Roll Tide, man.
Yeah.
Alabama all the way.
Who are you looking at? Any people you're hoping to get for the Giants?
I don't know. It depends. That's the kind of the question. If we go for a quarterback, I mean, the Giants need a lot of help.
Yeah.
I think they can go free agent. They should go after wide receivers. They need defensive line help. They need a lot of help, but they need more offensive help than anything. So, not anything specific, but Alabama, Roll Tide, and that's not just because they're the first place. I go to an Alabama game every year down in Tuscaloosa with my buddy, and not this year, of course, but and my grandmother's from Alabama, so
okay.
Two of my cousins went to University of Alabama, so I used to go down when I was the first big time SEC camp. I was 17 and went to the Iron Bowl, which is Alabama Auburn.
Oh, okay.
And don't remember too much of it because a lot of whiskey was going around, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's a whole different world down there.
Yeah.
I love the NFL, but SEC football, college football is a whole different. It's life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's everything.
Well, and I feel too like with college ball, they are playing to get to that NFL position.
Yeah.
So like you really see them give it their all. They're not bullshit and they're not doing anything dumb.
No.
Like they're working hard.
Yeah.
They're really playing football.
Right, because they'll lose their scholarship or once these guys get paid in the NFL, it's like, they're like,
I just made $30 million.
Right.
Who cares?
Right, my contract signed and it's good to go.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, but I don't know. No, that's not true for all the NFL guys. Some of the guys truly have heart, but for the most part, I agree. They're playing for something.
Yeah.
College guys they're not kids, but I mean, they're 18, 19. Yeah, they are. They're 18, 19-year-old kids. I mean, that's where the potential to you see your future making $30
millions
million.
Right. Yeah.
It's I'm going to run a little harder for that.
Yeah, I agree. If I were in that position, I know I'd be running as hard as I can.
Absolutely. If I was just a foot taller and about.
Yeah. So, do you have any predictions for the Super Bowl?
Oh, absolutely.
Who do you think?
I think it's going to be Packers Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't. The Chiefs, Mahomes, just I don't know.
The Chiefs
man.
are ridiculous.
He just makes it look so easy. Now he's been close games here the last few weeks, but
yeah,
I just think they can turn it on and off. I think the Chiefs will win, but I think out of the NFC, I think it's the Packers. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a dog. If the Giants could miraculously win the division, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl. But in 2 years they are. So, But yeah, I think I would go with Packers, like Aaron Rodgers against Mahomes, and those two are going to be one of those two is winning the MVP this year.
Yeah,
I would think, unless something crazy happens.
Well, I think Alex Smith might even have a chance at it.
Yeah, well, he's
because he had that huge leg injury.
I know.
Have you seen the pictures of that?
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh,
terrible.
It's horrific.
Oh, it was terrible. It was. I mean, he almost. Then he had a staph infection.
Yeah.
He almost could have died.
Almost lost the leg.
Yeah.
I don't know how. That's what money looks like.
Yeah. No, I know. But he and now he's hurt again.
Is he hurt again?
He's got like a calf or something, or a calf issue or something.
Is it the same leg?
Yeah, but it's not related. To,
okay.
I don't. But so he's questionable this week. But yeah, I like it. It's a tough guy not to like. He was a Chief.
Yeah.
And then a Redskin, but I like him. It'd be a great story. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it reminds me of the Drew Brees story when Drew Brees, who did he play for? I think he broke his ankle, and then they drafted put him on the free agents, and then the Saints picked him up.
Oh yeah, he played for Purdue, and then he went to the Chargers.
The Chargers, that's who it was. Yeah.
And then he was, and then he almost went to Miami.
Yeah.
And Nick Saban was a coach at Miami, but something didn't happen. He was a Saints, and now he's, one of the top 5 quarterbacks ever.
Yeah. It's kind of cool to see that, too. Like, you look at, like, Peyton Manning, for example, or, like, Drew Brees, and now we could see maybe Alex Smith will be the next great quarterback to make a comeback,
Yeah. Oh, I think he's well on his way.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
I do, and I like him. He just seems like a nice, he's a good guy. He played for he played for the Utah Utes, I think, in college.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was a number 1 draft pick from the 49ers.
Yeah.
Then with the Chiefs, and now with the Redskins. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, he's a good dude, but. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to take it from Mahomes or Rodgers. I'd like to see Smith, but Mahomes and Rodgers, man, they're just different level.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Patriots this year? They picked up Cam Newton. They got rid of Tom Brady. And Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers, and then all of a sudden Rob Gronkowski decides he wants to play with them again.
Yeah.
Do you think that Rob retired because he didn't like the Patriots?
I don't know. It's kind of odd, because he was getting paid a boatload of money.
Yeah.
I don't know if he didn't like the Patriots. I think it was maybe just a time for a change of scenery. And when, Tampa, like Brady just said, he's never moving back up to the Northeast. He's living in the South. So, Gronkowski's like a partier. He wants to like be out and doing his thing. He probably just likes it back down there. But I don't know. I mean, the Giants are 2-0 against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So,
well, they're looking scary too. The Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Have you seen they have Antonio Brown now?
Yeah.
They got Julio Jones.
No, Julio Jones still on the Falcons.
Oh, he is still on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Who did they just get? They got him. I know they have Mike Evans, and then they have Rob Gronkowski, obviously. Who are their other wide receivers?
They had a tight end, O.J. Howard, but he's hurt. They got Leonard Fournette, the running back, with Robert Jones Jr. Who is the Chris Godwin?
Oh,
Godwin
yeah.
He was from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they've got a sick offense.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and they've got a great defense. So they have Jason Pierre-Paul and Barrett is the other guy. I think it's his second year, and a couple other guys. But young, they're young defense, and they're going to be good. But it's the first year, so I think it's going to take. I think while they're good this year, I think they'll be better next year.
Oh, I think so for sure.
Yeah,
and I think Brady's going to keep playing until he goes to the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, he looks fantastic.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah.
And now he's just. I think they're building a big house down there, and his wife's Giselle. So life is good.
He doesn't even need to play football. He's got so much money.
No, and she's got more money than he does.
I know. It's crazy to think about. Like, he's been playing football for how long? Like, since 2004.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, right. He's been 20 years. I mean, he's 42, so about 20 years, something like that.
It's just crazy to think like. He put in all, and he gets paid a lot of money.
Oh,
so I can't even imagine what each paycheck for Giselle must look like.
Oh God,
it's got to be astronomical.
Yeah, she makes she's like the most. I think she's the richest model ever.
Really,
in the history of
what does she do?
She was a model. She's
from
Brazil.
For what? Do you know? Is she like a Victoria's Secret model? She's a what?
She's a fashion model.
Just a fashion model.
Yeah, she does like different things. Like she can do campaigns for like Gucci, like all those brands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think
she does run right too. Like she does things for
like the walks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's. I mean, obviously we know in the U.S., but I think she's international. Well, she's huge. Mm-hmm. Certainly in Brazil, she is, and we don't. I don't. Does she do a lot of like modeling now? Like I don't see her too much in advertisements.
Yeah, I never see her
too much anymore. But maybe it's just because I don't follow her that much.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't need to because he's making a boatload of money too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think their kids, their grandkids, for 6 generations, 10 generations are ever gonna have to work if they don't want to.
No, they could probably open up some crazy business and make $1 billion out of it. And it's crazy. I can't even imagine the types of money that they have in that family.
No, but they earned it, to be fair.
Oh, for sure. They put their time in, they put in their effort.
Like I'm playing the lotto tickets. That's all I'm saying.
That's hey, you win it though, that'll be pretty cool.
Hey, it is what it is if it happens, but
hey,
I'll spend it.
Exactly. So you're also a Rangers fan.
Yes.
Big into hockey.
Mm-hmm.
How are they doing this season?
Well,
I used to watch. I haven't really watched this season.
Normally they'd be playing now. They're trying to hopefully play mid-January, but they got the number one pick. A generational player by the name of Alexis Lafreniere is his name. He's from Canada. He's I think he's 18 or 19 now, and he's going to play immediately. The future is very bright for the Rangers.
Yeah.
As my prediction, and I'm this as a Ranger fan, the Giants I'm joking around a little bit, but the Rangers, I think in 2 to 3 years the Rangers should win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Because they have so much talent.
Well, I've been seeing that, like all the people that they've been getting and all these articles about like this is the best guy and this is this and
Their future is very bright because they're young and they've started to spend money more properly, not just buying the big free agent. But they've gotten some of them like Panera and a couple other guys they have. So they have some older guys that are still going to do well from. But the young talent coming up is awesome. But hopefully in mid-January they start because they'd be playing right now. You know, we'd be well into the season right now. But obviously with COVID,
everything's changed.
Yeah. So.
And do you know how that's going to work with COVID and everything? Like how if somebody tests positive on a team, like one person tests positive, how's that going to work?
I don't know how it's going to work for hockey because I don't know. Are they going to win bubbles? Like the NBA bubble or I don't know. It's a good question. I don't. They didn't really have to deal with it. The hockey did. They played it through the summer and then did the Stanley Cup. They played in Toronto and Vancouver, I think it was. The West played in Vegas, but. It wasn't really a big issue, I don't know, but it's going to be interesting because, if you're all trying to play in your own venue like MSG or something, and what's going to happen locally? Are we going to have the Binghamton Devils play? And if somebody gets sick, what are they going to do? I don't know. Yeah. It's a good question.
And I feel like it kind of destroys the integrity of the sport as well. Like you look at the NFL, like who was it? The Ravens. They had to postpone the Steelers game 3 times so that they could play, and there were other games that just got canceled.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't play because people were sick.
Oh.
And people are saying it's delegitimizing the process.
Oh, I think so, for sure. And definitely in college sports. Every weekend, college games or college basketball games are just done. They're not even making them up, Like Ohio State, they're going to have 6 games, and they're playing in the Big Ten, or, they're playing 5 games, and, they're going to play the Big Ten championship and make potentially make the playoffs. The finals with 6 games as opposed to like an Alabama or a Clemson that have all played 10 or 11 games. Is that fair? I don't know. But as you go, and is it fair to the team that goes 10-1, like in Texas A&M, that potentially, and they get bounced out for Ohio State that only played 6 games?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, college is and it's a little. Football is tough because you have 1 a week. In baseball and hockey, and even NBA, you can cancel a game here and there and make it up later in the season because you play 3 games a week. Or something. But in football, it's tough because you're everything's so tight as far as schedule. You have to play on Saturdays or Sundays, or you can only play 1 game a week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's hopefully the vaccine will be out and cause some or help solve some of these problems.
Yeah.
But certainly not by January. It's not gonna be fixed.
Well, when are we projected to be getting the vaccine? Do you know? Because I know there was this whole thing with Cuomo not accepting it from Trump.
Yeah.
And how is that going to work? Like, can he even do that? Like, can he say, I'm not going to accept this? Because that's really screwing all the New Yorkers.
Yeah, I think he's backtracked on that.
Yeah.
I think he got a lot of heat for that.
Yeah. You can't do that.
No, it's not your decision. You're not the. Well, he tries to be the king and the emperor, but no, it's not. I think he's backtracked that. I think the vaccine's come. But as far as you guys, I might get it a week before you. We're going to be the last people to go. We're relatively healthy. You guys are, younger, but like the frontline workers, the first responders, all they're getting it all first, and then I think the elderly, and then the kids and teachers, and rightly so. I think that's probably the way it should. And then I think it'll just go down maybe as age goes. You guys will probably be the last ones.
Probably,
honestly.
yeah.
But you're probably the last ones that need it, quite honestly. But we'll be like your father and I are roughly the same age. We won't get it that quickly either. We'll be towards the end.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And who knows when that's going to happen? Is that going to be January? Is it going to be March? You know? But again, I'm not. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not jumping the line to get in there. I want to see what happens, like we talked about earlier.
No, I completely agree. I definitely don't want my arms falling off or something.
Got tail.
Well, I saw this thing during the Spanish flu. That was another big one where they had a vaccine for it at some point.
Oh yeah.
And watched this video of this girl that had taken the vaccine. She was like 18 years old at the time or something. She's perfectly healthy, but when she took the vaccine, she got this neurological disease that made her a quadriplegic.
Jeez.
And it took her like a year and a half to like just be able to learn how to walk again. And it was a miracle that she was able to walk.
Yeah.
And I see things like that, and it makes you question like what's gonna happen. And I remember a while ago when they were doing the trials for the vaccine,
right.
they had one of the guys on, I think it was Fox News. I was watching it up at the lake with my grandparents and my dad and Emma, and the guy that was talking with him, like his eyes were like twitching, and like he just didn't look right, you know.
Yeah.
And when you see that kind of stuff, it makes you question it.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I was reading on the Post today, in the online Post, New York Post, somebody took the vaccine and had an allergic reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, just like within the last day or two. You know, I think it's going to happen. I mean, there's just nothing you can do. But you know, are you willing to take that risk?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if by March, 200 million people have taken it, and 1% or less than 1% have had some sort of negative reaction, then I won't be as hesitant. But, we just started doing the vaccines and people are already starting to freak out, have reactions like, that woman.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's for personally, I mean, that's everybody's, individual choice. Now, I'll tell you what, if the government tells me I have to take it, then I'm going to have a problem.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's where they're going to get us too, is the airline companies, they're going to require that you have a COVID shot to fly.
Yeah.
They're going to get you in these little things.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to make it illegal per se, but like to refuse it. But I think it's going to be very hard to do things if you're not vaccinated.
Like if you have to have a card or some sort of ID that you're vaccinated. I have a problem with that. That's because I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'm not a pro put everything in your body, but I am understand what you're putting in your body first, and I'm all for if they make sense and they're healthy, then that's fine, but again, I want to know what's going on in my body. I want to see some tests. Like you said, everything is so rushed.
Yeah.
To me, it's a little odd, you know?
And like I said, we've never had a vaccine done in like a year,
right.
the way that this has been done.
Right. And I don't, it almost is like humans are the guinea pigs right now. And hopefully that's not the issue, but I'll let other people find out first,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
And I heard that this vaccine actually, normally vaccines, they use like a dead portion of the virus, or they use like a version of the virus that's not hostile or whatever, however they explain it. But this vaccine is not using it's not using COVID in any way. It's like some other compound that they use that's supposed to, it's some kind of synthetic thing. And maybe that's why people might have allergic reactions or something. I don't know.
I've never had a flu shot.
Really?
I'm 44 years old. Never had a flu shot.
I get my flu shot every year. Last year I missed it. I missed it last year.
Well, but they say now to get it. But I'm not. I mean, knock on wood. But I haven't had the flu, and I've heard too many negative reactions to getting the flu shot. And always, like you said, it's always last year's strain, right?
Yeah.
Or from what I understand.
Yeah.
So look, man. I'm not. I've got all your vaccines and your immunizations to all the regular stuff, but I don't know. I'm not going to do a flu shot anytime soon.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's to me, putting synthetic things in my body just does not sound like fun.
Yeah.
But again, if it's the right and the smart thing to do, long term, then I'll do it. But again, I'm just going to let other people have their hair fall out.
Exactly.
No, that's terrible. I don't mean that, but
Yeah.
I want to observe first,
Oh, of course. Well, thank you guys for joining us. This has been a very exciting and fun episode, Kevin. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. It's fun.
So you guys can expect next week what's next week? Christmas is next week. That's right. So you guys can expect to have Doug Donnelly on. We're going to be talking about life, what it's like to move away from your friends and how you handle those kinds of situations, getting a new job that you know nothing about, and Christmas stuff. So thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.
Thank you.